All right, good morning. I think my logo, the Bullish Bears logo, is in front of my face, so I'm going to move me. We're going to do a little test this morning, guys. I'm going to put my camera up so you can see me, my friendly face. So let's see if it moved me. There's a delay on YouTube, so gotta wait. I moved it over, and there I go. I moved over to the left now. All right, so let's get into it. Let's take a look at the markets, what's happening. As you can see, I had this rising wedge on the, the daily. And now we can kind of readjust it a little bit and kind of connect. Let's do this right here. So kind of a rising wedge-ish pattern still. So it's moving on up. It's kind of held some support right over here. So we'll see if it continues up. It's above the 9 EMA on the daily, but it's still got to get above that kind of that 3007-ish area. Otherwise, you have a potential head and shoulders pattern. Let's take a look at the hourly. Hourly, you got kind of a possible cup and handle here. So we'll see right above the moving average lines. Let's see if this will continue up. And gotta watch and see. So Friday, be careful today trading, especially going to the weekends. Anything can happen. So let's take a look at trade ideas. What's running on trade ideas? We've got MTP. All right, so we look at the daily chart here. So remember, if you're trading momentum stocks, you're looking for stocks that are having a daily breakout. Ideally, with news, ideally you want to have some type of catalyst that pushes it. Doesn't mean a stock can't go without news. It's just a better potential or more legitimate breakout with news. So ideally, you'd like to see news. It looks like right here. So MTP has news. It is basically a low float stock, so pretty much under 20 million. And you can see it's basically breaking out on the daily, and pre-market high is 313. So what you're looking for, ideally, you'd like to ideally see at market open, you'd like to ideally see the stock go and break above pre-market high, hold, continue up, and then you got to look at other resistance areas. I mean, so this one being a low floater, it has a history of pumping, and well, actually, it's just it's kind of in this whole falling wedge kind of pattern. So crappy stock, just might be getting a pump today. Look for those bull flags. So as of right now, it kind of has a symmetrical triangle-ish or kind of a pennant pattern. So see if it can hold that 9 EMA, catch up, and get above that 313 area and hold. Again, if you're new, don't follow some chat from pumper telling you they get in a stock. Remember, it's a low float stock. These things pump and dump very quickly. So just because another guru out there is trading it doesn't mean you take a position. Remember, you're always going to be late to the punch if you're following somebody else. So watch the videos I've been showing you guys. Take our penny stocks course, the free course that we put out there, which I showed a video the other day on trading bull flags. So let a stock break out, come back to the moving average lines, and you'll see. Let's look for a bull flag. So kind of like this, kind of have the stock go up, pull back to the moving average line. I'd like to see it a little bit closer and smaller candles, like these ones, kind of like nearer to the moving average lines. This is a little bit sharper, but that's still okay, but obviously not pre-market. We don't encourage you to trade pre-market. You want to look for this at market open. When you see stuff like this, that's where it becomes very difficult to trade. So that's kind of what you're going to see with these low floaters. Many times at open, you'll get one, maybe two bull flags if you're lucky, and then after that, they just kind of, everybody in the world's watching it, and it gets crazy. So this is kind of what you're looking for right here at the open. Let the stock move up, come back, look for little candles near moving average lines, let it break out, and then take your profit, right? So you can see flag pulls up, coming back, consolidating, get in on the break, sell up here. You know, that's even 2 minutes. That's actually quite a bit of decent time. So if you see that at open and you get a couple candles like that, you know, make sure you consider taking your profits because it's going to reverse. These stocks, they pump and then they dump. Lots of money to be made, but also lots of money to be lost. So if you're new and you're a new trader, here's where new traders buy, way out here near resistance. Here's a simple visual to show you guys. See how far these candlesticks are away from these lines right here? These are moving average lines. The further the price gets away from these moving average lines, it naturally wants to gravitate back to them like a rubber band. What goes up must come down. Not necessarily what goes down always, you know, must come up. You know, a stock could go down to zero, right? But a stock's not going to go up to infinity. At some point, it's going to go up and then it's going to come right back down. So if you're new, buying farther away from these moving average lines becomes very risky. Also, you don't just buy if something's near a moving average line like this, because you also want to look at the overall pattern, what's forming as well. And that's where a lot of times you get this yo-yo effect, or it'll be caught in between a symmetrical type of triangle pattern, and you'll see the stock kind of trading sideways. You want to find these bull flags. Stock goes up, pulls back. Stock goes up, pulls back. Risk off these small candles. Let it break out. Take your profits. You got to be quick. If you're trading low float stocks, take your profits. Let it break out. Take your profit. Let it come back, right? So stock breaks out. Take your profit. Let it come back. Stock breaks out. Let it take your profit. Let it come back. All right, so that's MTP. So we got to watch this, see what happens at the open. You want to see these moving average lines separate, push price up, and ideally break above pre-market high and hold. Next up, let's take a look at YGYI. So let me erase the drawings on this one. Pre-market high is $6. You guys see here it rejects right below $6. No coincidence. That's a whole dollar amount, whole and half dollar amounts, psychological support and resistance areas. So at this point right now, it's kind of got a head and shoulders pattern. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder, and it's kind of failing right now the neckline. So that's kind of bearish at the moment. So ideally you want to see the moving average line separate, price to get above them, and ideally get above that $6. Doesn't mean, again, price can fall down, bounce off support areas, and then form a possible cup pattern and go back up. Again, that's a whole other way to trade. I'm just kind of trying to teach you guys the bull flags, right? Look for the bull flags if you want to trade the safest way possible. Look for the bull flag. Stock breaks out, comes back. This is not a good bull flag. This is kind of crappy, but yeah, I'll see if there's another one to look at, but not really. That's not really a great one. ALT. This one right here is moving. Pre-market high is the 269. This one also has kind of a, not really a head and shoulders, kind of got a double top pattern. This one's kind of all messy and all over the place. So it's got some volume. Not really great at the moment. Keep an eye on it. That's why we have scanners too, guys, like Trade Ideas at open. Sometimes you'll look pre-market, nothing's going on, it's a bunch of garbage, and then market opens, and then ding, 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 bell goes, and then you got to watch, see what stocks are hitting the scanners, and kind of do the same thing, right? Look for the bull flags, also ascending triangles as well. PIR, Pier 1 Imports. This one's not really doing too much at the moment. Went up to 491 pre-market, so let's see where that puts us on the daily. So that kind of puts us right over in here. So you can see Pier 1's been falling. See if it can reverse, move up, get above that black line, which is the 200 SMA. If it can continue up, watch for some resistance right, you know, in between that 5 SMA, that purple dot, and the 9 EMA, the blue line right there. So that one's kind of shaky at the moment. CRWD, that's kind of a bigger one. Dang, that one just really ripped pre-market, you'll see this one's gone all the way up to 88 bucks pre-market, way up here. You can see some support now, right? On the daily, this right here was the previous resistance, right around 80 bucks. So at this point, don't be surprised if this thing falls. But let's go to another monthly. Not really any history here. So as you can see, this one's kind of just flew, gapped so high up. But this is CrowdStrike here. But it's got no history at this point. So, and this is easy to borrow, so it might be shortable. Kind of a bigger price stock. So this one's kind of ripping pre-market out there in no man's land. Don't be surprised if it pulls back down. SKX. All right, so this one, pre-market high, that $40.40, right here. Now, if you notice, there's a gap on the daily right about here. So there's that saying that all gaps must be filled. It's just kind of a matter of when, right? So there's no guarantee that's going to go up today and fill it, but keep an eye on it. Skechers, big name company. Looks like it might have some possible some news coming in here. Keep an eye on it. See if it'll go up and fill that gap above. So you can see that nasty looking kind of wick up here. You can see all of this movement over here is being affected by this wick over here. So you want to see it get above that 40 and hold. Remember, lots of volatility when it's in this gap. You can see some support back right over here around that $36 area down here. So all in this range right over here, there's going to be probably lots of volatility. So at this point, you want to see it get above right here, that 40, hold, continue up and watch and see if that gap will fill. And then look and see these previous levels right here of resistance. But you can see kind of a cupish pattern on the daily. So again, watch and see if the gap will go up and be filled. What else we got? ZVZZT. ZVZZT. Well, that's garbage. Let's take a look at GDAX. That's a gold stock. So you can see right around that 28.56 level. It's kind of pulling back. So you can see this is where we want to show you guys. Just because a sector runs doesn't mean you just go and run in and buy it. You can see gold, it's running. It's a bit overextended. Doesn't mean it won't continue up. Just know that it's at resistance levels. So that's the daily. Let's go to the weekly. Let's see where it's at. Anywhere up in here that you can see is very overextended at the moment. Let's look at the monthly. Some resistance right in here. So there's some room for it to move. Just want to show you guys, just because something's moving doesn't mean you get in on it. Wait for pullbacks. That's where you look at the daily chart. This has some room to still move up, a couple dollars or so. But you got to watch the patterns now in the intraday and then go into, let's say, the hourly time frame, see what's looking like there. It may be flagging on the hourly. So this may be a bull flag. So remember I showed you guys flags? Look for stock to move up, pull back to the moving average lines. Move up, come back here. If it can hold here on the hourly, and then they have a decent 5-minute setup, then you might look to get in on something like this near support levels. Just know it's overextended on the daily chart at the moment. All right, what else we got? RRC. So RRC is right up around that 570 pre-market, which is right below, right here, right below that 9 EMA. This might be doing a star reversal pattern. Got to watch and see. Got the moving average lines to contend with above. Let's take a look at the hourly. If it can get above that 50 SMA, might have some room up to that black line, the 200 SMA, which would put you, you know, anywhere where you can see that blue line's the 9 EMA, red line's the 20, and then in between somewhere would be the 13. So this may be doing a possible reversal, but you can see as this is moving up, this is where if you're new, you don't buy away out here. See these big green candles? Those are flagpoles. See how far price is away from the moving average lines? That's resistance. You want to wait for pullbacks. This is on a 5-minute chart. Same thing goes on a 1 minute. You know, look on the 1 minutes. You can see price moves up. These are kind of bigger candles, so they become more riskier to trade. But like, let the stock move up, come back. Then you look for potentially down in this area if you were to trade it. I don't really like this setup per se, but as you can see, kind of not way out here. You don't just look at these moving average lines. You like the 9 over the 20 like this. You like to see the bullishness of this, but what you want to be careful of is when price is way out here, way out here. Let the stock go up, come back to the moving average lines, see if it forms a flag. Then you look for a possible entry, and then you decide when you're going to take your profits. Look for the bull flags. So right here, this may be forming a bull flag. Remember, this is what you're looking for at market open, not necessarily at pre-market. Very dangerous to trade pre-market. So right here, kind of like this. Right? Stock moves up. See if a flag holds. If it does, and then you can connect your trend lines like kind of like this. Then you can see, okay, this may be continuing up, maybe gives you a flag. If so, maybe you look to get an entry, let it break out, consider your taking your profits. Buy near support levels down here near moving average lines, not way out here. This is where a new trader buys, way out here. And then the stock tanks on them. It's not rocket science, guys. You don't need to follow and copy other people's trades. Buy at support, sell at resistance. Look at the patterns. If you're new, make sure to take our courses. We have lots of courses on our website. You'll see right over here. On our website, we have an entire section. Look at all this. All these free courses on how to help you. If you're like, wow, that's a lot. I don't know if I want to do that. Then you're probably not going to make it as a trader because this is what it takes. You got to learn and study. Lots of practice and learning. Come over here, take the courses and learn. Again, we are a trading community. We have a day trade room, swing trade room. You could watch us teach and trade live. As well as each night we do our day trade watch list, swing trade watch list. Make sure, guys, if you've been around for a while, pay attention to this list section. We're updating these lists over here. We have a pot stocks list. So if you're looking to trade pot stocks, you know, you'd say, oh, if the pot stock sector is running, oh, let me see over here what stocks are popular. Oh, here's a whole list of penny pot stocks, Canadian pot stocks, larger stocks, right? So you'll see there's the pot stocks list. If you come over here, oil, if oil is running in a sector, you can just come up over here, look at oil stocks. Here's the popular small caps and larger caps. We will also be, I'm actually late to the punch. I should have done gold stocks sooner, but I'm working on gold stocks. That'll probably be done some point early next week. So I'll put gold up here, and then we'll keep building out that list. So for those of you guys that are around, when a sector's running, just look up under lists, and we'll just build this sector out, and you'll see what stocks to potentially trade. So again, we have trade rooms, we have watch list daily. Check them out here. We have all of our courses. We post trade ideas, gappers live every morning here. We also share our screen share live with people, kind of like with our members. Try it before you buy it, so come check it out. We also have a 14-day trial if you want to try us and say, hey, are these guys worth it? I don't know. I'm cheap. I don't know if I want to spend money, right? I want everything I can, every ounce of everything for free, right? Then come suck us dry for 2 weeks, and then if you don't like us, you can quit. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Later.